what's up, y'all? This your girl, Nat, and you're tuning in to another episode of Authenticity. And I have a special guest that I am very excited about. We're going to get right into it. I am going to have my special guest introduce herself and tell us what you do.
My name is Kara J. I am a creative from Harlem. I like to say creative because I do poetry, I do filmmaking, I write books, I make movies, and all of the things that involve just letting your creative flag fly. And I'm a Leo, and that counts. So I always say that as a personality trait.
Okay. I don't really have too much bad to say about Leos. Maybe the men, they can be a little aggressive, but alrighty. So what you doing in the Lou?
I have a show, sold out City Winery show. This is my first headlining show.
That's exciting.
So it's a big deal because I've been performing for 20 years, right? Ooh. But I typically headline with like other major poets, or I'll get booked to feature at poetry shows. Okay. This is the first time that I was like, I need to organize this for myself. Ooh. And I have amazing lineup, amazing headliners on the lineup. You do. But when you look at City Winery, it says Kara J. Yeah. So my first show. Woo.
That's exciting. So what can people expect when they come out to your shows?
You gonna laugh.
Okay.
Because I'm a clown. I don't take nothing serious.
Okay.
You might cry.
Okay.
Because I'm very transparent, and my transparency makes people connect with me a lot.
Yeah.
You're definitely gonna think.
Yeah.
I'm gonna touch on some stuff that make you go, Just, I would say, expect to feel all of the feels.
Okay.
All of the feels for sure.
Okay. All right. I agree with, I've never been to like any of your shows, but I've seen a lot of your content online, like a lot. And that's why I say I feel like life can be like a full circle moment because I followed you like years ago. And I ain't gonna lie, I probably followed you because I was probably going through something with a man. You know how us women do, we'll be going through something with a man, or we mad at the dude we dealing with. So what we do, we go online, we on Instagram.
Find a post that you can relate to. That's why the men wasn't liking me for years. Like every time my girl get mad, it's a Kara J post coming through with the subs.
Yes. And so that's how I came across your page years ago. So I'm just like, it's just a full circle moment for me. So thank you again for coming on. Now, you just said earlier, you said I've been in this game a long time, and now I'm headlining my first tour. What's the business side of that?
A lot of work.
Okay.
A lot of work because I am my team. I am my agent. I am my publicist. I am my manager. I am my assistant. I am my shipping department. I am my creative department. I am my marketing department. I am all of the things. So headlining things for myself by myself, it definitely is a lot of work, but it's also a lot of reward. Yeah. Because I don't have to pay nobody.
Yeah.
I get to keep all my percentages. That 20% that would go to somebody that's going right back to me. Okay. So if you do all the work, then you keep all the coin. I mean,
Do you see yourself in the future like building a team?
Absolutely. Yeah. But I keep hearing from people that have teams that you can't really look for it. They just have to find you.
Oh, I've been hearing that a lot, too.
I've been hearing that a lot. When you look for people to help you, then that's how you get taken advantage of, right? Because they know that you need in that support. And then they like, well, I can tell her anything, or I can tell him anything. But when people just naturally see you working and they find you and they want to come help you, everyone with a successful team was found by their team. They didn't go looking for it. So I'm just waiting on my team to find me. That's all.
Ooh, I love that. Look, they may be watching this.
They may be watching.
You never know. You may meet them tonight at the City Winery.
Exactly.
You never know. Now, speaking of that, and again, I want to give you your flowers for being in this game so long and now being able to headline your own tour. That's huge.
Thank you.
That is huge. Now, you are living, thriving in your purpose, living out your passion, and you also are a mother. So you know, when she was coming up here, she was like, my daughter was gonna come with me, but my mom took her to get something to eat. You said y'all do a lot of things
we
together.
Do everything together.
How do you balance that? Your career and then living in your passion, living your dream, and then also being a mother.
Because this career as a full-time poet you can have a large income off of one night's work, right? So if I can do like, say to just throw random numbers out there, if I can do one show and I can make $10,000 off of that one show, and then I can do maybe 2-3 shows a month, then I get to spend all the other days with my daughter. Wow. So if you look at it, I don't work that often. It's just that when I do work, I'm going to make sure I scale that money so that I can just stay home with her a lot more.
Wow.
So it's like, okay, I'm going to do the one show. I'm going to make the 10,000 and we just going, just me and you. I don't have to like leave her every day.
Yeah. That's really, really good too. Cause you still have, you living in your purpose. You're passionate about this. And then you still had that time to dedicate to your daughter.
Yes. Okay. All the time. We just always be together. And then with this tour, she's coming with me to every city.
What? Yes. That's nice. And
because we have like separation anxiety because we do everything together. So I got booked to go do some work in New York out in February. Yeah. And with all of the stuff that was happening with these planes, I couldn't get back. And I had to stay away from her for an extra 2 days. And we both were having meltdowns. I was like, okay, so I don't have any more shows coming up on weekdays. Yeah. It has to be weekends so that she can fly with me and not miss school.
That makes so much sense. And I think it's important for your child to see you in that light, to see what mommy is doing.
Loves it. Yes. She loves it. She be telling me, my mom is a famous poet.
Yeah. Oh my God, that's good. Now, you know, speaking of motherhood, speaking of just out here grinding, I want to, let's see your, no, let me go back a little bit. When we were on the elevator, you said that your daughter is 8, right? Mm-hmm. So you came out with Bitter Black Woman 8 years ago. Mm-hmm. Okay. Tell her, what was Bitter Black Woman, and is that what sparked your career?
Oh no.
Okay. She said, I'm true to this.
I've been doing this for like 20 years.
Wow.
My first book that I have is like 12, 13 right now.
Yeah.
Bitter Black Woman came about, actually I wrote the second half of the poem before I wrote the first half. And it came about from a meme that I saw.
Oh, okay.
It was a picture of a black man and a black woman, and they were slaves. And they were turned away from each other for auction. So they had the man facing this way and they had the woman facing that way, and we couldn't look at each other. Yeah. So in the poem, I started it off by saying, we went from being forced to turn our backs to each other to doing that shit willingly. And I can act like I don't need no man, but not having one is killing me. So the poem got sparked from when I saw that picture of how they used to force us not to look at each other.
Wow. Yeah. That's nice. Okay. I love that. I really, really do.
I love that poem.
Speaking of men and women, I gotta, I'm a little nosy.
Oh. I gotta. That's the way. I'm an open book. All my business online anyway, girl.
Yeah, girl, I love all of your posts. I got so many of your posts in my saves, bookmarked, But I was looking on your Instagram, I was doing a little lurking, and you were talking about, there's 2 things that I saw, so I'm gonna address the first one. So one of the things that I saw on your Instagram, you were talking about how there was a transition period from you moving to Houston, then you moving back to New York, and then going back to Houston, right? And you talked about locking in. And I was like, oh, I resonate with that. And during this lock-in period, I think it was a couple of months, you were celibate.
Oh, I went over a year.
Oh, yeah. Okay, hello. Let's talk about that. Are you still celibate?
By accident now.
Okay.
Because the plan was to go the year, right?
Yeah.
And then the plan is like, just do the year, and then you're gonna meet someone that's gonna. But it just over it. I don't know what's they're not giving. So I'm still like in the season of no D, but it's not on purpose anymore. Yeah. I just have not met someone.
You know what?
The year was on purpose. Anything after the year is not my choice.
I'm not gonna lie. When I say I resonate with that so bad, because I feel like when you go on that journey with no sex, it just be so much clarity. And once you open your mind to that clarity, like, you can't go for the dumb shit that you used to go for.
And you're so much more cautious.
Yes.
Because it's like, I just did all this work. You ain't about to come fuck this up.
And are you even worth it? Are you even worth it?
I feel like the old me, promiscuity was my vibe. First date sex, Carol J, all of the things. But once I went through my evolution and my healing and the therapy and the sobriety and the celibacy, I find that it's hard to find a man that's worth my time to date, let alone find a man that's worth my time to sleep with.
That's very true.
It's very difficult out here. Crazy times.
Times. Like I said, I agree with all of that. I've been I think abstinent is the word. I keep getting the 2 confused. Abstinent, celibate. I ain't been doing nothing. Nothing. And I still ovulate like every other woman.
Where art thou? No. It's a struggle. It is. I'm not gonna lie. First year was like, I'm a warrior. Now it's like, I think I'm losing the war. Hold on. Where's the niggas?
Oh my God. Where is the niggas?
Where is the niggas? Hold on. This isn't funny anymore.
Oh my gosh. But yeah, then you'll kind of get that craving, and you be like, that ain't even worth it.
Yeah. I did end celibacy after the year, but then now I'm back in it because it just wasn't working out.
Like, yeah, and that's understandable. Understandable. I saw a clip of you. I think you was on an interview or something, and you said, I don't want a husband, I want my husband.
Yes.
So in this, you living in 2025 just like me. You see the internet, the men versus the women. You got a lot of people having discourse about marriage and how marriage is not worth it. It's a business. All these things. How do you stay hopeful when it comes to you wanting your husband?
I feel like God just showed it to me. Like anything that I have in my life, I'm able to like manifest it or speak it into existence because God already gives me the path of, like, I was 9 years old when God said, you're going to be a famous poet one day and you're going to be on stage. So I was able to live out my whole life knowing this was his plan for me. God already showed me my husband. I don't know what he looks like. I don't know how it feels when I first meet him, but I know he's coming. So it just allows me to be patient and wait. Like, you don't have to go looking for what I have for you.
That's true.
I'm getting him ready for you. You stay patient. You've done the work that you need to do, but he still needs some refining. So when he finished, then I'll send him your way. But I don't think my husband is ready right now. So, it's just a me season until he's ready, and then he's going to come get me.
Period. I feel the same. I feel the same. It's hard, though, because I'm 29. You know.
Baby. I love saying that to people. Cause
really? I feel like 29 is old, child.
I'm 33.
No, that's not old at all.
I'm 33, and I want more children. So I'm like, all right, speed it up, because, know.
But you're right. I think things are happen when they're supposed to happen.
They're supposed to. And it'll happen with who it's supposed to happen with. We can't rush God's plan for us. Who are we to tell him what the timeline is?
Yeah.
So I'm patient because, again, I don't want a husband. I want
my husband. Ooh, I love that. Okay. So when on your poetry is and the things on your page, like they're centered around healing, self-love, growth, and things like that. So can you just share with me, what does self-love look like to you, to Kira J?
I used to think that self-love was focusing on my own happiness and pouring into myself so that I could feel satisfied and wake up with a smile on my face. But it took a long journey of real intentional healing that I learned that self-love is actually the willingness to be unhappy. Willingness to be unhappy means diving into doing the things that will make you sad temporarily to focus on being happy on the other side of that sadness. So self-love for me looked like sobriety, being sober for last year because I was spiraling with my drinking. Self-love for me looked like celibacy because I love sex, but I was sleeping with the wrong men. Self-love for me looked like getting up and going to therapy every single Monday. I ain't missed a session in over a year. So self-love is a lot of unhappiness. Self-love is a lot of tough love. Because we focus so much on doing what makes us happy, and the things that be making us happy be bad for us sometimes.
Yeah, that's very true.
So self-love means pouring into your growth. And your actual healing. Okay. Not just your happiness.
I love that. Speaking of like pouring into your growth, I also saw this on your page. Girl, I was lurking on you.
Yes.
You know how you'll follow someone, and I follow you. I bookmark your posts all the time. I love your poetry, everything. But you know, anytime I have a guest, I always like to do my research because I be intrigued.
And I put it all out there.
Yeah,
so you can ask me anything.
I be intrigued.
Nothing off limits.
I be intrigued about the things that I find out. So you had a post on your Instagram page, and it was a check for $6.35. And in the caption, you said, going from that and something along of making six figures now. Can you tell me how does that feel from that transition period of that check? I don't know where the check was from. You said it was it was a check for $6.35.
$6.35. That was one of my early book checks. Because when I published my first book, I went through publishers because I thought like I need people to get my book out for me. But then as I grow in the game, I learned self-publishing. I put my own books out now, so no one can like essentially rob me of my profit and my royalties. Ooh. So the $6.35 is what happens when you don't know your worth, and the $10,000 a week is what happens when you bet on yourself. Ooh. So that was you go to $6 and you just swipe and see, $40,000 months, and it's all off writing. That's all off books. That's not like ticket sales or things like that from shows. That's off books. So yeah, it's been a long journey of learning how to not be taken advantage of in a publishing game.
It sounds like you've learned the business too.
Learned the business.
She's like, I learned the business. I'm getting all of mine. Look, can't wait till I get that point. But so what advice would you give to another creative or someone who's a poet who's watching this and they're inspiring to do the same thing? What advice would you give them?
The first piece of advice I would give poets is take notes.
Yep.
Because a lot of us who have been doing this for 20 plus years are giving out the game for free.
Yeah.
Take notes. The second piece of advice I would say is go to them courses. Because I didn't learn everything that I know on my own. I was signing up for all the little business courses. I never went to college. Yeah. So I had to learn entrepreneurship from entrepreneurs. They don't teach entrepreneurship in school for real. So I was going to, if you see a course of someone you admire and they in your city, go sit down, take your notes, learn from them. And I would guess the third piece of advice would be get a mentor. Someone who has capacity and time to answer the questions that you have when it comes to your relative field. So take your notes, attend them courses, and get yourself a mentor.
Okay, period. Period. I love it. And what would you say makes you authentic? This podcast is authenticity. We engage in authentic dialogue while celebrating Black culture. So what would you say makes you authentic?
I think my authenticity comes from the willingness to be embarrassed. The willingness to be embarrassed. I feel like with social media in this climate, everybody has so much of an aesthetic that they have to protect and an image they have to maintain. My authenticity comes from me not really caring if I look stupid sometimes.
Yeah.
If I say the thing that makes you cringe, if I post the thing that's like, I can't believe you said that out loud, the shame is gone with me. So if I take the shame and embarrassment for you, then it's like Kara J done said this out loud, so maybe my situation ain't that bad.
Yeah.
The willingness to be embarrassed. Everybody wants to save face so bad, and then we're sitting there thinking that we're the only person that's going through something.
Yeah.
People be going through the same thing I'm going through, but I'm just saying it out loud. Just allow yourself to have egg on your face in public. It just makes this journey of life that much more authentic. Because if I lay all my cards out on the table, then no one can pull them for me.
Yeah.
No one can embarrass me.
That's
no
true.
one can expose me.
Yeah.
Because I give it to you before you ever heard it from anywhere else.
Shit, that's deep. I'm actually gonna take that one with me.
Just get out here and be embarrassed. It's okay. Who we got something to prove to? Because the people that you'll be embarrassed in front of probably done got the same story. They just hiding it behind closed doors. All my stuff is public, and it is what it is.
Okay. I got one more question for you. Then we're gonna close this out. What other piece of advice or anything that you want to leave my audience with? It's before you even go into it. Again, it was a pleasure having you on. Like, I definitely want to give you your flowers. I know you're gonna kill it at the City Winery, and she got some heavy hitters. So shout out to K Money the poet.
Yes, the birthday girl.
Yes, I just spoke words. 2 Kids Slim, and then maybe someone else I'm leaving.
Macapone.
Yeah. Shout out to them.
Macapone from DC with me.
Yeah. Okay. That's why I probably. Okay. Yeah. But all three have been on my show, so I know your show gonna be really, really good. And plus, you're there. You got some heavy hitters. But anyway,
I have Elena Lovely as well. She's a singer.
Yes, her too. You got all the people. You snatched them up.
I had people hey, who do I need on stage with me in St. Louis? This is my first show.
Yeah, you got the heavy hitters in St. Louis in the poetry, and you got it. But is there anything else you want to leave my audience behind with today?
Let me think. 2025 is a year of completion. It's a 9 year if you're into numerology and all of the things. So that means that we have cycles that were started a while ago that are going to be coming to a close, not meaning that they're finished, meaning that their journeys are complete. And just the other day was spring equinox, which is like, the real new year.
Yeah.
So as we go into this new year, I just want everybody to focus on completing what you start. I don't want you to be the type of person that begins a lot of things and finishes nothing. 2025 should be the year that you execute all of the things that you begin. If you say you want to do something, do it. If you say you want this dream body, don't lose 5 pounds and then take 6 months off. If you say you want to write a book, don't write 3 pages and then take 3 years off. If you say you want to start a podcast, don't film 1 episode and then take a year off. So this is the year to complete the things that you start. Everything that you said you're going to do, you need to be doing it. Even if you have no idea what you're doing, get it done to the best of your ability. So that's all I want to say. Okay.
I got hit with that last line because somebody behind the camera was looking at me. But anyway, thank y'all so much for tuning in to another episode of Authenticity. Again, Kira J, thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you. All right. And that's it, y'all. Period.